Hello there, Tyrant here, and I just got done watching episode 9 of Trollhunters. So, this is kind of a weird episode actually. I did not expect I did not expect this. So, it, not a lot of shows do this, and I wish some of them did. It's when you get a dual-sided episode. There's a lot of things that were unexpected that happened in the prior episode that makes sense now after watching this episode, because this episode follows Steve. Steve was his name, and fuck, what was the kid's name? That's his middle name. But anyway, it follows these two because they get stuck as partners for the baby excitement from the last episode and this episode, and prior to that, Steve was able to capture one of the goblins, and then things start to click. Not only for him, but I'm gonna call him Leslie because the name is gonna be stuck in my head. So they start talking about all these events that have been happening all over Arcadia, and it's one of those things. It's crazy conspiracy stuff, but things start to come to light, and these two bond over this and are, well, in the beginning they mistakenly think Jim is a shapeshifter or we know them as changelings, and is the evil that has been causing all over Arcadia. And I like that through this adventure that they went through, that not only are they themselves learning a little bit more of what might be happening all over Arcadia, but we also see where this weird flower magic baby came out of nowhere. I like that. But there's so many scenes like, oh my god, that was happening, this was happening. It's hard to not talk about. Like that bathroom scene where Steve was in there, and during the transformation of Jim, where he kind of finally realized that Jim is actually one of the good guys, because earlier they were actually at Jim's place and they overheard the gameplay that was happening with all the trolls in his basement, and they mistook all that. It was quite actually ridiculous if you think about it now, because you got to think of it from an outsider's perspective. Like, you don't know what's happening. Your mind's literally being blown that, oh my god, the world is not what it seems, and there's literal monsters and havoc happening around you. So when, also to note, the weird car scene that happened earlier, that makes more sense now, because of just that little moment. Like, what is happening? Like, you don't, it just doesn't make sense. Now it makes sense. But it was fun. It's fun to see it because of the kind of the goofy child childishness of them trying to be these heroes. Like, they even come up with a name for themselves. First it was the Midnight Boys by Leslie, and then it was fuck, what is it? Monster Slayers with a Z by Steve. It's childish, but it's still them trying to do good. Even at the end, they still, I would say they're friends, but not friends. But they're kind of, they dub themselves kind of like the secret agents to protect Arcadia, to help Jim when they can. And I'm looking forward to more of their shenanigans, and hopefully one day they'll cross over. I hate one of those moments where, like, people know something, and then once you kind of interact, more things can be done, but until then you're kind of screwed. Bugs me. On a side note, there is that whole thing with Blinky's brother and his lack of, you know, of, well, he's blind, so he's kind of losing his touch, and, well, the other guy's kind of like, well, I got you. There's nothing you can do. I'll be the second in command and everything. But he He found his niche by overhearing the mistakes of others, and that's gonna be maybe his downfall or not. We're just gonna have to wait and see. So yeah, that's kind of what I thought. There's a lot more I could say, but there's so much happening in my head right now, and I'm looking really forward to a little bit more progression in the story moving forward. In the next episode, I think there's only 4 more episodes left in this part of the season. So yeah, until next time, thanks for watching.